Acceptance and surrender. See, it's about accepting the things that we can change and surrendering to the things that we can't change. Like as we go through life, it's not about only going through life, it's about growing through life. Hi, my name is Drew. I'm a New York State certified addiction recovery coach, recovery peer advocate. Welcome to the Reset. Acceptance. See, so many times in life, we resist. We resist the things that come into our life. Life gets lifey. As we go through life, things are going to come into our way. Storms are going to happen. And many times we don't accept that things happen. And we got to pivot and we got to make changes. And it's these changes in life, that's how we grow. We accept what's happening to us. We surrender to the process. And it's through this process as we change and pivot that we're going to become the best version of ourselves. Each and every day I put out these short videos and I give you a concept. One of these concepts I always say is, strive to do something that your future self will thank you for. And that's about, having a plan, looking at these short, middle, and long-term goals, thinking about your recovery. Because, if you're not working on something, something is working on you. What are you doing for your recovery today? Specifically, are you going to a meeting? Do you have a sponsor? Are you working a 12-step program? Are you working a smart recovery program, a cognitive behavioral therapy program? Are you working, there's Dharma recovery, that's a Buddhist program. Are you working a religious-based program like Celebrate Recovery? Are you working a program of, that's based in some type of not only cognitive behavior program, but some type of program where you do sports and fitness? I know some people, they stay clean and sober on sports and fitness, doing marathons and doing working out every day. You have to find what works for you. But the question is, are you doing it consistently? You have to do it consistently if you want the results. Consistency. And that's about accepting. So if you're not an early morning person, don't start a program where you're going to try to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. to run. But if you're a person that is better in later days, then strive to maximize when you're better in the day. So accepting, surrender who you are, make the most of maximize your strengths, understanding your weaknesses, being able to focus and leverage those things, getting somebody, maybe if you want to get in better shape, finding somebody, accountability partner, somebody to work out with you. Maybe if you're not good at going to meetings, finding somebody, a crew to go with you. We always call it a running buddy. Somebody to go to meetings with you, or somebody to work out with you, an actual running buddy. Somebody to help you go to the gym, somebody to help you stay accountable to. If it's a diet, whether it's going in recovery, whether it's somebody going to church with you, a house of worship, but somebody that you can do it together that will help you. You're not in this alone. You don't have to do this alone. Find your community, find your tribe, find a group of people that will help you. There's so many different groups out here that will help you. It's not only 12-step. There's so many other groups that can help you with your recovery. So, today I started out by saying acceptance and surrender. Accepting that you may not be where you want to be, but thank God you're not where you used to be. And it's about making these small steps every day, step by step. Each and every day we strive to move forward, and it's through these small steps that we will get to where we want to be. You can do it. You can do it. You have to believe that you can do it. I believe that you can do it, and it's through these everyday actions that we will become the best versions of ourselves. I always tell myself each and every day that, it doesn't look pretty, the things that we do each and every day. It won't be no monumental successes, but it's through the small actions that we take in our recovery, doing step work, journaling, praying, meditating, working out. I say take a walk. I try to do 10 to 20,000 steps a day. That adds up. I also talk about hydrating, getting a proper amount of rest each and every day. Because look, you matter. And if you're not getting a proper amount of rest or hydration, that's going to affect you. Recovery is all inclusive. It's about creating a bigger life. I recently put up something about hobbies. Having a hobby, outside interest, creating a larger life, a life that you want to preserve and save, that you don't want to go back to drugs or alcohol. Creating a life that you want to hold on to. So each and every day I say, do something that your future self will thank you for, because you're worth it and you're worthy and you matter. So, do something that your future self not only will thank you for, that will cheer for, that will help you be the best version of yourself. God bless you and have a blessed day. So also, please like and subscribe this video and send it to somebody else who, if they have a substance use or alcohol use or opiate use disorder, send it to them. Encourage them. Recovery's not for those who need it necessarily. It's for those who want it. You have to want recovery. Thank you.